The developer certificate of origin still requires a human to certify, I wrote this, I have the right to submit it, no license prohibits me. When an AI writes the patch, the human who commits it signs that certification anyway. The 7.1 release cycle ran 7 release candidates. The historical average is 6. It ran longer because the maintainers applied the same standard to AI-generated patches they apply to every other submission. That is the quality gate. 35 years old, still holding. When your team reviewed the last AI-generated output it shipped, did you apply the same standard?
Let's get into it.
In 1994, I watched the kernel compile for 28 hours. 35 years later, Linux 7.1 went stable. Same release email, different codebase entirely. This is the Hamberger report. I'm Andreas Hamberger, Enterprise Architect, Wellington. The 7.1 cycle opened on the 26th of April, 2026, with the first release candidate. 7 release candidates followed before the stable release. The historical average sits closer to 6. That extra cycle was not accidental. The kernel community is processing a review queue that AI tools are now contributing to in volume, and not all of it meets the standard. That is not a criticism of the tools. It is a description of a calibration problem the community is working through in real time. The 35-year-old review process was built for human contributors who had, by the time their patch arrived at the maintainer's inbox, typically spent weeks reading the code and understanding the conventions. AI tools can generate a syntactically correct patch in seconds. Whether that patch carries the same depth of understanding is not a question the compiler can answer. The maintainers can, and they are. Earlier this week, a figure from Anthropic's internal engineering data entered public discussion. More than 80% of production code merged at Anthropic is now authored by Claude. The authorship inversion arrived in a closed commercial environment first. Earlier this week, a figure from Anthropic's internal engineering data entered public discussion. More than 80% of production code merged at Anthropic is now authored by Claude. With authorship inversion, a term I used in Gen AI Tuesday Part 22 to describe the shift from AI as assistant to AI as primary author, arrived in a closed commercial environment first. The Linux kernel is not a closed commercial environment. It is the most scrutinized codebase in software history. Every commit is visible, every reviewer is named, every merge decision leaves a traceable record going back to 1991. When AI-generated code reaches the kernel's maintainer queue, the GPL's requirement for provenance does not change. The developer certificate of origin, the signed off by line, every contributor adds to every commit, still requires a human to certify that they have the right to submit the code and that it meets the kernel's contribution standards. AI tools do not sign off, their users do. The developer certificate of origin, the signed off by line every contributor adds to every commit, still requires a human to certify that they have the right to submit the code and that it meets the kernel's contribution standards. AI tools do not sign off, their users do. This is where episode 20's question becomes operational rather than philosophical. In the 7.1 cycle, the answer is the same people who always signed human maintainers, human contributors, human reviewers, now reviewing code they did not write at a volume they would not have encountered 5 years ago, generated by tools that learned from the very code base they are trying to improve. This Friday, Lethal by Design continues. Episode 5, the same question the kernel maintainers have been answering for 35 years. Who certifies the output? Applied to autonomous weapon systems. Premieres Friday the 25th of July at 11 a.m. New Zealand time. Link in the description. The Linux Foundation announced Focus 1.4 general availability on the 10th of June 2026, the same week as the 7.1 stable release. Focus 1.4 is a financial data normalization standard. It adds 47 columns and 2 datasets to normalize multi-vendor billing telemetry. The Linux Foundation announced Focus 1.4 general availability on the 10th of June 2026, the same week as the 7.1 stable release. Focus 1.4 is a financial data normalization standard. It adds 47 columns and 2 datasets to normalize multi-vendor billing telemetry. Its direct successor, Focus 1.5, will extend the framework to AI token tracking across cloud providers. More directly relevant, the Linux Foundation published OpenMDW-one in June 2026, an open license for AI model distributions. NVIDIA committed to adopt it across Cosmos, Isaac GR00T, Ising, and Nematron. OpenMDW-one is the community's response to a question that has been building since the first AI-generated patch hit a maintainer's inbox. What does open licensing mean when the thing being distributed is a model trained on open source code? The kernel community spent 6 years arguing about what free meant before Stallman wrote the GPL. The AI model licensing debate will not take that long. The procurement question this cycle surfaces is one that defense and critical infrastructure teams have not yet formally answered. When AI tools generate code under a human contributor sign-off, supply chain provenance depends on the quality of that review. The procurement question this cycle surfaces is one that defense and critical infrastructure teams have not yet formally answered. The kernel's AI-generated patch volume surfaces a governance question that defense and critical infrastructure procurement teams have not yet formally answered. When AI tools generate code under a human contributor sign-off, supply chain provenance depends on the quality of that review. Heartbleed demonstrated what silent dependencies cost: a quality failure in a widely adopted library that defense and intelligence users depended on without tracking, and the post-incident response directed roughly $10 million to open source security infrastructure after the fact. United States Executive Order 14,028 now mandates software bill of materials compliance for federal supply chains. The software bill of materials records what is in the code, not how it was generated. That is the governance gap the 7.1 cycle is surfacing. I compiled my first Linux kernel in 1994. The machine was slow, the documentation was incomplete, and the community was tightly coupled around a mailing list with a steep cost of entry. You had to read before you wrote. I compiled my first Linux kernel in 1994. The machine was slow, the documentation was incomplete, and the community was tightly coupled around a mailing list with a steep cost of entry. You had to read before you wrote. That culture built the review standards the kernel uses today. The question Torvalds has been working through in the 7.1 cycle is one that every senior engineer who has used AI coding tools will recognize. When you review AI-generated output, do you apply the same standard you would apply to a junior developer's pull request, or do you apply a softer standard because the tool produced it quickly and it looks correct? The kernel community, by the evidence of the 7.1 cycle's length, is applying the same standard. That is a choice with a cost. It is also the right choice. The series ended at episode 20 with the developer certificate of origin provenance gap as the argument's close. The same discipline the kernel built over 35 years is what AI governance needs. The 7.1 stable release does not change that argument. It illustrates it. The series ended at episode 20 with the developer certificate of origin provenance gap as the argument's close. The same discipline the kernel built over 35 years is what AI governance needs. The 7.1 stable release does not change that argument. It illustrates it. The quality gate held. The cycle ran longer because it held. The authorship inversion arrived in the most transparent, most reviewed codebase in software history, and the community applied the same standard it has applied to every other contribution since 1991. When you reviewed the last AI-generated output your team shipped, did you apply the same standard you would have applied to a junior developer's pull request? The kernel maintainers did. They have been doing it since before most of us were writing code professionally. History of Linux concludes here. Free as in theft. The next chapter opens in September. The kernel story continues. The question just changes scale.
That is the Hamberger report for today. If this was useful, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more professionals find the channel. You will find links to everything we covered in the description below. I am Andreas Hamberger, and I will see you tomorrow. Like and subscribe.